What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. Welcome to Fightful. It is March 9th, 2026. We have your WWE Raw post-show review. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. WWE Raw episode with some really good advancement on some storylines, some big stars missing. No Gunther, no Dragon Lee after last week, no Roman Reigns, obviously no AJ Lee. Lots of people kind of missing, but still got some big happenings on this show. If you're here, leave a thumbs up. Get your super chats and humper chats in. Tonight's super chats and humper chats, all donations, not only will go to nami.org, but I will match them as well. If you prefer to donate directly, I encourage you to go to nami.org, get a hold of me or the Fightful account or Luis or somebody, and we will get your questions answered with evidence of that donation that I can match on one of the 3 shows that I'm doing this week. But I am doing that. I lost a friend this week, Megan Peffer, who was, I've known her sister, her mom for, gosh, I think 17 years. And unfortunately, she took her own life the other day. And I cannot tell you what, like, a ray of light she was in, like, our lives. Like, she was just wonderful. She wanted everybody to feel the exact opposite of the pain that she felt. And I just hope that you guys will consider donating to a very good cause, nami.org. I've worked with them for, gosh, over a decade at this point. Since 2012, I think I've worked with Nami. The first match I did back with Shaza a few years ago, we were able to raise a lot of money for Nami, and I really hope that you all will consider that. And if you are ever in need of those services, I mean, they have incredible resources for you. And just please know, it can't get better if you're not here to make it better. And I really hope that anybody that needs that type of help can go to NAMI or any other resources and maybe look into that and maybe get what they need. That way you can stay here with us. I mean, that's ultimately what we need in this world, is less of what unfortunately happened to our friend Megan. But I want to say thank you to all of you who said very, very nice things when I posted about that. I don't put a lot of stuff regarding my personal life or, my friends out there, and you guys were really, really nice. And it was a tough time. It's a tough time for her family. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys. You guys said a lot of really great things, and we've already seen some donations, and I just want to say thank you for that sincerely. But if you're here, let us know what you want to talk about. This show, of course, guided by what you all want to talk about. Man, AEW just launched a new service. We're going to talk about that and how it relates to NordVPN. I want to thank Greg Cherry for showing some support. Says love audience. Show Greg Cherry some support too. This gentleman has always been just a lovely person and just a wonderful dude. Has done a lot of really fun shows. Go check out Greg Cherry and all the incredible things that he does. I also want to thank my moderator, Luis, who is doing this. And Josh D says this MF spitting. I appreciate you, buddy. I really do. But, oh, man. So I'm going to talk about it. And by it, some of you are going to say, what the hell are you talking about? And then a bunch of other people are going to say, really? You're still talking about that, even though it wasn't on tonight's show? And yes, I'm going to talk about the Dragon Lee thing. And I would have liked to have last week, but I was on a show with AJ Francis. I didn't feel it was appropriate to just make him sit through that. Was on a show with Alex. Didn't feel like it was appropriate to make him sit through that. But this happened on WWE Raw, so I'll talk about it here again. Man, here's what happened. Last week, Gunther unmasked Dragon Lee on WWE Raw. His face clearly visible. I hit the rewind button, the back 10 seconds button, hit pause, posted the screenshot. Global television, Netflix. Immediately, I had people saying that I scrubbed it frame by frame. I posted it within a minute. I don't know if they thought that I screen recorded it, then took it to Adobe or something, and then like scrubbed it. There's a pause function. It's existed since the 1980s. Don't know what to tell you guys. No, people lied. They said I scrubbed it frame by frame. I didn't. They claimed that I zoomed in and enhanced the image. I don't know what kind of software people think that I am capable of using or proficient at, but this isn't Super Troopers. I didn't sit there, enhance. Didn't do that. Hit the back 10 seconds button, screenshotted, posted it. Now, WWE brainstormed, planned, pitched this angle. Dragon Lee approved this angle. Gunther approved this angle. A producer approved this angle. The chief creative officer approved this angle. They went to the cameraman. They went to the truck. Then they went to the social media people. They all got in on this angle. This was not an accident. There was no accidental showing of Dragon Lee's face. There was no accidental camera angle. There was nothing remotely similar to that. Everybody involved with this angle agreed on it and signed off on it. Then, after the angle happened, they sent it to all their social media accounts and posted it unedited. Now, as we have seen with things that even just don't go well, like the Ricky Saints concert last week, if they don't want something on social media, it won't be on there. If they want something to appear differently on social media, they will edit it. I was outright told no edits were made very intentionally. It happened like it was supposed to. WWE replayed it. They posted it on multiple YouTube videos on top of that. Now, if the people I talked to at WWE are to be believed, Dragon Lee didn't have a problem with it. And if he did, he follows me on Twitter. I'm very easy to contact. I would be happy to have a conversation with him. But there were a lot of people that were very upset on his behalf. And I definitely saw those. And I'll just go ahead and say this. I didn't do anything wrong in posting that picture. Not a thing wrong. What I can say that I did wrong is immaturely responding to some people that immaturely responded to me. I had some people say, oh my gosh, you were rude to people who were just educating you. No, I was rude to people who were calling me a moron and a cocksucker and things like that over posting this. I had a lot of people say, just admit you were wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Had people say, all you had to do was say you were wrong. Are you new here? Like, that's not the way that ever works. People are always trying to pack me up for something. I had people say, you're disrespecting lucha culture. Well, I won't say that I was disrespecting lucha culture. Lucha is certainly not my beat. It's Luis's beat. He does a fantastic job covering lucha. I cover it here and there. I do not step out of my lane without knowing what it is that I'm talking about. This aired on WWE Monday Night Raw, 2 hours from my front door in Indiana. I have literally been unmasked in Indianapolis before. This was on a AAA show or even a WWE AAA show. Probably wouldn't have posted it. If it were on a local lucha show, wouldn't have posted it. If it were in Mexico, wouldn't have posted it. If it were an accident, I wouldn't have posted it. This was on Netflix to a global audience and then posted repeatedly on social media. Just in case you missed it, you could still see it. And to me, the semantics of, well, you posted the screenshot when there are higher quality videos being posted all around the internet by WWE themselves. I'm sorry, I don't get with that. The limit of what I did wrong was the tone of which I replied to some people on Twitter initially. I shouldn't have really replied at all because I was just doing my job. Now, in America, this is normal. And I understood there were an awful lot of people that were saying, oh, you're ignoring lucha culture. You're ignoring what Mexican fans are saying, what lucha fans are saying. I wasn't ignoring it. I took it in. We just have a fundamental disagreement. This is probably why the majority of people who cover lucha thought that I was in the wrong. And universally, the media that covers wrestling in America did not. Even people that don't even generally like me. Now, I was always open to speaking directly, especially with the people that cover lucha. Ernesto and I had a very good conversation. I didn't agree with him on his points, but I reached out to Rob Viper as well. Reached out to a gentleman named Angel. Reached out to a whole lot of people and said, hey, go ahead, tell me. Fill me in on this. I didn't have one wrestler reach out upset. I had numerous people from WWE saying this is overblown. I had over a dozen lucha wrestlers send me very encouraging response, like universally just welcoming and very, very nice things to say. Including multiple that said this is the risk that we run. Now, let's talk about the response to all this. I got called a racist hundreds of times. And for, the tons of people that were reacting to this and claiming they know so much about me, it is not that difficult to scroll down my Instagram, see what my family looks like, and understand that would be an awkward fucking conversation at the Thanksgiving table if that were true, which it's not. Let's talk about some of the lies. There was a guy who harassed myself and Fightful for years, claiming I called ICE on his neighborhood. How does one even do that? Like, do you think that Ross Sapp can dial up ICE and just dispatch them? Okay. Had people making weird claims of threats and all that. Then you type in SRS or Sapp or Fightful into their Twitter bar, and you see them just claiming the most heinous bullshit ever. Ernesto, who I did have a great conversation with, said that I despised any culture that isn't mine. Well, that's bullshit. And he was happy to post the original message of where I reached out to him. Wasn't as keen on posting the one where he said, I apologize for implying that you were a racist. And whatever his issue may be, it didn't keep him from having his staff send me news from his site the last couple of years. And let me tell you, I greatly respect his knowledge of lucha and wrestling in general. Just like I did Rob Viper. Respect his knowledge of lucha. Great knowledge. But he said I was keeping the picture up for the money. I think I made this pretty public. I've donated my X earnings every month, including to a man in my town who needed help with an immigration lawyer. So let's do the math on that one, I guess. I will never make money off of Twitter and keep it as long as Elon is running it. It's the nature of what I have to do for a job, but I have no desire to keep my X payouts. So no, it wasn't for the money. I made multiple efforts to speak to Rob directly, and he just wouldn't. Instead, he claimed that I made derogatory statements about Mexican wrestling fans and Lucha Libre years ago. So I was like, man, let me figure out what those derogatory statements were that I made. And I had to go back and look. And all these got a lot of traction about how bad of a person I was because of this screenshot. So I went back and tried to find those derogatory statements. So in 2019, a friend of mine, Scarlett Bordeaux, had to issue a statement over being groped at a AAA show. Security didn't do anything to prevent it. I reached out to Cross and Scarlett, and I was like, can you provide me some more detail on this? AAA, and that's not my beat. They said, yeah, it's becoming very, unfortunately, a common occurrence, especially with the female talent. Wasn't like a one-time thing. Said that AAA hadn't done anything about it. And this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Things are much different now. Now, if there's one thing that's been clear in the last number of years, it's that people develop parasocial relationships with wrestlers. Seth Rollins got attacked because someone thought they were talking to him. A wrestler showed up at MJF's hotel room or hotel to attack him. There's, a wrestler who preferred that she wouldn't be named, but was followed to her hotel room by a fan who tried to attack her. Liv Morgan got stalked. Daria had her home broken into. Alexa Bliss had a stalker who sent her husband death threats. Roxanne and Asuka have been subject to stalkers publicly and had to issue statements saying it's being taken care of. So if fans are willing to grope a wrestler in public in front of security with thousands of people there, what do you think they'd be willing to do after that in private if no repercussions are shown? So pardon me if I tweeted AAA and said they needed to do something about this and the culture of allowing groping from audience members before someone got attacked or killed. Certainly wasn't an attack on the Mexican people or lucha culture or anything like that. We've seen it. We've seen it. Parasocial relationships are all over the place. I had Rob, Ernesto, a gentleman named Angel who claimed that our Espanol account was run by ChatGPT, which was news to Luis, who's been doing it for 16 months, claiming I didn't understand the culture. There is no culture of which groping fans is okay. Rob called me a staunch Trump reporter. I think y'all have watched me long enough to know that that ain't the case. They alleged that I was implying that all Mexicans were displaying that behavior. There is nothing cultural about that. There's something cultural about a lucha mask being ripped off. Absolutely. But when things like this are being brought up to question my character, I'm like, yo, why is that happening when I just didn't want somebody groped? Now, to be fair, Ernesto certainly changed his tune on that and was very respectful about that. I can't say enough nice things about Ernesto, honestly, and the interactions I had. Angel just tried to backtrack. Rob Viper, who has an incredible amount of knowledge, was just spineless about it. And of course, tried to portray it as racist. To be clear, not a racist. I've listened to what people have said. There's a fundamental disagreement about covering a wrestling show that took place in America with a Mexican wrestling talent by an American wrestling company broadcast to the world. That does not mean that someone is racist. I reached out to, all those people directly. I reach out to people directly with regularity because the way that I was raised, if you have an issue with someone or you're going to talk about someone, expect them to reach out to you. I think that would be a fairly common thing to do, right? Like you have an issue with someone, you go to them directly. You ain't got to do it for Twitter likes. Unless that's the reason you're doing it, right? Which brings me to my next point. Although that's the way that most human beings are brought up to handle things directly, there are countless people on Twitter who will claim they got bullied by me, got angry DMs from me. And what I'll say is the same thing I said last week. Come on the show. If you claim I've done this to you, uninstigated, uninspired, like of my own volition, because I disagreed with you over wrestling, let me just be clear. I don't give a fuck what wrestling you like. I don't care. I've never cared. I'm telling you, come on the show, bring the evidence, and then I will show everybody what it was that you did or said to get a message from me. And I understand there's a lot of people that say, oh man, you should just ignore it. Be a professional. I'm a professional of which the level my outlet requires me to be. And guess who runs the outlet? If you want somebody spineless covering wrestling, go find somebody else. And I'm not saying everybody else is. I'm just saying, if you lie about me, get weirdly personal, threaten me, say weird shit, you might hear from me. Not saying anybody should be afraid of that. But if you want people in your life to be spineless, by all means, you can do that. That's your own prerogative. But to say a man is racist over posting a fucking screenshot on WWE Raw, get out of here. Don't want you, don't need you. Have an honest conversation, have a respectful conversation. Anybody can message me on one of a million platforms and access me. I had one person reach out on their own. One person reach out on their own and say, here's why I think this is an issue. And we had a good conversation. Now, Now that we have heard all that, let's hear from our incredible sponsor at MyBookie. If you head over to MyBookie AG on any given day, here's what you're going to see. Up to $500 bet back bonus for new customers, a 150% casino bonus up to $750, the ability to bet with Bitcoin, table games, live casinos, slots games, and the ability to bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. And you can do that with a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200 with the link in our description below. No matter what sports season it is, or if it's pro wrestling season, you can bet on pro wrestling at MyBookie AG. Maybe esports is your thing. Maybe you want to bet on some entertainment. Maybe horse racing is your bag. All of it at MyBookie AG. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. If you need it, they've got a great support system there as well. But check out MyBookie AG, where you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. Boy, am I excited to never talk about that shit again. Speaking of not MyBookie. I'll talk about MyBookie all day, every day. I'm here for that. Speaking of, they had it right on the money with Joe Hendry this past weekend. Let's see, they had Tatum Paxley favored to win, which was accurate. Lola Vice favored to win, which was accurate. Blake Monroe and Tony D, Tony D has made some leaps. Lupongi Vice, thank you so much for sending this. Says the community itself has helped me through a lot of times mentally tough times recently. You guys foster a space that is safe for well-meaning weirdos. That we do. We don't want anybody discriminated against here at all. Lupongi Vice, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, yeah, we've got JW Pringle says, money for the cause. May those grieving find love and comfort. To the one that's left, shine bright and be at peace. Thank you so much for this, JW Pringle. By the way, you have sent so many of these for good causes, and I really, really appreciate you. Oh, man. We've also got Nelson sending a Humper chat saying, Nami does great work. To all the people having a tough time, you are loved. You are needed. I do the Nami walk, which, oh, man, it's like maybe half a mile from my house at the park. I love it. I think they do just a wonderful job there. But yeah. And Luis has a note in here that says completely optional, but if you want me to chime in, I can. Luis, I am completely fine with you chiming in. Luis and I had a nice conversation about it. He said he would have done things differently, and I greatly respect that. If I feel bad for anything, it's whatever heat Luis may have got by association with me, because Luis does incredible work. And certainly is not a robot and is not ChatGPT. But let's talk about the main event segment of this show. So earlier in the night, we can actually talk about this. We'll talk about the first segment and the last segment first. Adam Pearce calls out Seth Rollins, right? And we get a bunch of masked men. And they're all like Rollins is in the ring and he unmasks, and then all the masked men like run into each other and they're like, ooh, can't hit a moving target. It is the most goofy ass visual you are ever going to see. And the masked men show up, the Vision shows up. Usos and LA Knight make the save. This is heatless. Nobody cares about this angle. It did feel like the putties from Power Rangers. That's the footage they watched. That's the tape that they studied. And they got Paul Heyman the hell up out of this angle, bro. They got Paul Heyman out. They said he is out indefinitely. And out indefinitely means getting him the hell away from this garbage angle. I mean, I guess you could have believed originally that Seth Rollins was having his black and brave people out there, but all right. But it's wild how you could transition from this heatless drivel that we saw to a really good backstage segment with Jackie Redmond and the Usos, right? Dave Koss says they were a mix of Retribution and the Jets from the West Side Story. It was so bad. And Anthony Velasquez says opening segment might be one of the worst segments I've seen all year. That's a pretty high bar too, buddy. So we get this backstage segment. And Jackie Redmond is, wanting obviously to know what the Usos think about what CM Punk said about their uncle on last week's show. And Jay's like, we don't care. We don't care about him. And Jimmy's like, yeah, maybe we do actually. So at the end of the night, CM Punk comes out. He gets a great reaction. He said he wasn't quite sure what kind of reaction that he would get. Then does his gimmicks, right? Isn't it great to be alive? And then talks about the Seahawks. All right. I did love the line of when they chanted Roman and he said, keep holding your breath. Maybe he'll show up. But the Usos do show up. And I got to say, man, even in absence, CM Punk is bringing some really hot promo work, man. I wondered how on earth they were going to keep this going. I mean, granted, it's still early March, bro. It's still early March. A lot could happen, right? Like they could do a lot that makes you just go, all right. But as of this moment, like they have just kept the promo stuff hot, even in absence of Roman Reigns. CM Punk takes his little digs at Roman for not being there. He says, why is he still sending his cousins? And the Usos say, it's one thing if you say something to us. It's one thing if you say something to Roman. You disrespected our uncle who does not have a voice. And then CM Punk brings up some stuff that, quite frankly, probably a lot of people didn't even know. CM Punk talks about how he wrestled for the Wild Samoans coming up and said that he wouldn't ever say that he didn't get paid, but would certainly look at it and say, well, I got a hot meal. I got a roof over my head. I got an awful lot of knowledge. He brings up Lance Anoa'i, who got released from WWE last year, and said, I practically babysat him. And I got to sit there as Samu gave me knowledge. Damn, man. This was a great line. And he goes, and I've respected every single person in that family. I'd love to go back like over the years and look like how often did he work there? Like how many times? And which members of the family did he ever work with? Like you can go back to 25 years and find him wrestling Corey Graves, right? But like this was great. This is a great history lesson as well. Because, I mean, he doesn't really talk about that. He didn't mention that during his previous feud with Roman. There's a lot of stuff that they honestly didn't really get to touch on as a result of Seth Rollins being in a part of that or being a part of that feud last year. So he says that he respects every single person in that family. Except for the one son of a bitch that doesn't show him respect. And Jey Uso screams at him and he goes, man, he's just not going to get it. He just doesn't get it. All you got to do is say, I'm sorry. And CM Punk shakes both of their hands and says he's sorry that Roman Reigns treated his family like garbage and never apologized and said he should be talking to Roman instead of his young boys. Damn. This was a great promo. Dave Koss says, huge props to both Jimmy and Jay. They nailed the good cop, bad cop. Both provided the audience a unique perspective. I believe them. Very crucial. I did too. Because if there's one thing we have seen that is consistent with the Bloodline storyline, and especially these talent, it is that the family is the most important thing at any given time to any of them. That's why when they had, Roman and Rock as a possibility, I said they don't need a world title. It's the Ulafala. It's being the tribal chief. It is all that. Lord Zypher says it unfortunately feels like Punk is being positioned as the heel in this feud, and that makes me think he loses when he absolutely should not. I disagree with that. I think it is being positioned as a choose your own adventure. You determine if CM Punk was out of line, or if you determine if he's just giving Roman Reigns a dose of his own medicine, because he brings up calling Dusty Rhodes irrelevant and how Cody Rhodes is his friend. I don't think it's necessarily a heel thing. I think it is a choose your own adventure. They want a mixed reaction there. Irwin saying Punk said what you've been saying for years. Roman is an asshole who never apologized to his cousin. Exactly. CM Punk is right in this. Okay. You can always say two wrongs don't make a right. CM Punk shouldn't have brought up Roman Reigns' father in kayfabe, we'll say, right? Got no problem with him doing it on the show. Everybody approved it, whatever. That's where the crux of the Usos issue lands, though. They're like, hey, we don't care if you've got a problem with Roman. You can have a problem with Roman. Roman's an asshole. They know he's an asshole. But their uncle, what did he ever do to you besides help you, apparently? Because all Roman ever did was go away. I've mentioned that before, too. He just went away, came back, and people were like, we dislike Solo more than you, so you're a babyface. He didn't do anything babyface-ish. He gaslit everybody. Dave Koss says, an angel got its wings with Punk bringing up Roman's line about Dusty. That's how it's done and not insult the audience. So much to use, and they're doing it. Everything after I'm sorry was nailed. Dave Koss, I am 1,000,000% with you here. 1,000,000% with you. I also do think that there's an approach, and I'm glad MJF went this route. And if you guys watch the Dynamite show, you all know what I'm talking about. When they had the Mark Briscoe feud, everybody was expecting the same thing, the LOL, your brother's dead angle, right? And I said on that post show, MJF needs to freshen up and do something completely different. He should say, what are you talking about? I would never disrespect your brother. Your brother's a legend. Like, that's why I hate you, Mark, is because you're a joke and you're disrespecting the legacy of your brother that I admire so much. I do feel like there could have been something like that with CM Punk, but I think that also does give you that conflict, right? Because if you're CM Punk, you could say, well, I could very easily say these things about your father, just like you did about the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. But I actually respect your father, and I don't respect you. But that wouldn't have brought up the conflict that we see now, because the Usos probably would have been like, he's got a point. You know what I mean? So that wouldn't have been able to bridge that gap. So I think that you kind of had to go there with that line. TJ Ridgway says, gonna be honest, Punk really seems like the bad guy here. Jay is a crash out, we know, but the disrespect to Jim just turns it heel to me. 100% though, Roman is gonna bring up Larry now. Roman might dig up Larry and kick him like Jack Black in Anchorman at this point, TJ. He's for sure bringing up Larry. Yeah, he's going to bring up Larry. Yeah. And this is what I like, TJ, where you're saying, going to be honest, Punk really seems like the bad guy here, because there's a lot of people that are saying, no, Punk said the right thing. And I think that's the reaction that WWE wants, TJ. I think it is them wanting CM Punk, Roman Reigns, that type of reaction. I think that's what they're aiming for at WrestleMania. And I think they're going to get it too. Bad Robot says, late to the stream, some money for good causes and condolences. Thank you so much. He says, wrestling-wise, so happy for Bayley. CM Punk mentioning Roman has never apologized is great. No one at Fightful has ever said that or ever done a drop toe hold. Yeah, that was like my whole thing when he came back as a babyface, man. And thank you, by the way. I've got a beautiful drop toe hold. Maybe y'all will see that soon. Maybe. But I just never understood what turned Roman babyface. Because he was hanging out with his babyface cousins that actually did make amends. They made a whole storyline out of Jey Uso making amends, right? But Roman didn't. Oh, man. Matt Black says, don't have anything to say about Raw. Just wanted to send some love to you and your friends, family. Thank you. Says, wish I could give more, but I know every bit helps. It does. Thank you so much. I sincerely mean that. Thank you. NAMI is a phenomenal cause. And, you know, I wish we still had my friend here with us. I really do. She's been on our minds all week, and I got to go visit with the family yesterday, and that meant a lot to me. So hopefully what we do can go towards the resources and helping somebody else. We had the women's IC title #1 contenders gauntlet match. No AJ Lee at the show, of course, but we had Io Sky. She beat Lyra in about 9 minutes with a moonsault. Lyra had a nice recovery from a slip on the tornado DDT. But she recovered really well and hit the tornado DDT. But Raquel follows up. And again, we had like a normal timed match before that. Raquel gets beat with a small package in about 6 minutes when they start going smoke and mirrors after that. Because Liv and Stephanie started to attack each other, and Raquel gets distracted. So you got her looking dumb. It's like, oh my God, there you go. Then Raquel beats up Io, which it's like if you would have just done that like a minute before, you would have won the match. Ivy Nile steps in, immediately beats Io. By the way, how great does Ivy Nile look, man? She looks like a superhero. She looks incredible. The gear looks great. She is in the most insane shape. Now you naturally have a match that you can do next week or the following week. You can do Io versus Ivy Nile. You can do Io versus Raquel as well. You got a couple of matches set up from that, right? But you got Raquel looking dumb. Then you got Bayley looking dumb immediately. By the way, her theme sucks ass. Sucks ass. You know what? I think that Bayley is one of the best performers in the world. She's one of the funniest performers as well. One of the most versatile performers. It is amazing that she has overcome that absolutely ass trash theme song that has like 5 intros to it. It's got the that was in like every theme song for like 5 years, because it was in Judgment Day that had like 5 people. It was in Seth Rollins' Messiah theme for a while. It was in Priest Solo when it was in all of Damage Control, which had 3 or 4 people, and now Bayley as well. Get rid of it. Then they do the drop, and they go role model. That's three intros. Then they do the other intro. 4 freaking intros. Why do you need 4 intros for a theme song? And then the song sucks after that. Also, listen, love Bayley. Her finishers are ass too. Bayley to belly, Rose Plant, they're both bad. But she ends up beating Ivy with the Bayley to belly. Asuka is in. Why is Kyrie not in this? What kept Kyrie out of this? Either way, about 9 minutes in, Bayley gets the pin on Asuka, which is good that it went a full-length match. One note I had about this, I've mentioned the blanket crowd noise that used to exist on WWE shows. And quite honestly, I think they should bring it back. And some of you aren't going to know what I'm talking about, but especially happened during the pandemic. They would put a blanket crowd chatter noise over broadcasts. And I know there are some idiots that'll be like, you're talking about them piping in noise. They don't have to. I think it's good that they do. It stops the awkward silence on screen. I think TNA should do it. I think AEW should do it. ROH should do it. I think most American wrestling companies should probably do it to avoid those awkward silences, because we had a bad crowd tonight, a real bad crowd. They were quiet a lot during Penta and El Grande as well. Like, oh, man. But I feel like they should bring that blanket crowd noise back. Bayley ends up getting the win here. Had a lot of people look dumb in this. And I don't know why Kyrie wasn't a part of this, but just another Vic says, giving to a worthy cause. Sorry for your loss. Thank you, Vic. Regarding Raw, Becky definitely gets involved next week. Do you figure they set up a triple threat or a four-way with Bayley and Lyra? Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't think they should go back and do Becky versus AJ. I think they should get AJ in there with as many people as they can, which, by the way, they're doing Bayley versus AJ next week. That's a good match. I can't wait to see that. Lyra wasn't, exactly immediately thrilled backstage, but Bayley's pumped about it. It's a good match. Man, I would like to see Becky kind of cost Bayley the match or interfere in it, maybe, to set up that for Mania, because Becky took Bayley's Mania spot. And then I kind of wouldn't mind Bayley emerging and winning as like a, here you go, a here damn. You know what I mean? Because she had her stuff taken next week. AW King, thank you. He says, hey, SRS, hope you're well. I think you're great. Keep being you, and you inspire me to start my podcast soon. So thanks heaps. Well, thank you. That means an awful lot to me. Just go out there and produce content, my friend. Robert Lyle says, sorry about your friend, Sean. It's a shame that those that are helping others are often hurting themselves. People always be sure to check in on the ones who seem to have it all together. They often don't. That was certainly the case with our friend Megan. Like, she was so positive and so sweet. And I had posted on some of my private pages, if you post a workout thing, she was going to be hyping you up. She would be one of the first people to message you on your birthday. She would, if you were going out and you were going to see her, she would message you and tell you how excited she was going to be to see you, or so how happy she was to see you. And she had been battling this, quite frankly, her entire life, from what I understand. And a lot of us didn't know. And again, I mean, there are a lot of people that are battling that type of thing, and just want to send them all the love, We have the Stephanie Vecchier video. Says that Liv hides behind her friends, calls her a bitch. Liv is mad at the video. Dom is mad. He wants to find Finn Balor, and JD is going to look for him. Dom comes out, demands a rematch. Finn Balor is brought out by JD, and he says, Judgment Day is a family. He's like Dom Toretto. He's the Dom Toretto of Judgment Day. And Dominic pushes back on him, and Finn goes, you say you want to be the greatest Mysterio of all time, and you can be, but you need to learn that sometimes you got to do things yourself. And Dominic isn't happy about that. And Finn says, well, you know what? Your dad was right. You're a spoiled little prick. And then Finn gets jumped out of Judgment Day. There's like a frog splash on a chair. I don't know why Finn couldn't get out from under the chair that was being held there. Like, you should have had the girls standing on the chair to help it down. You know what I mean? Because Finn was just there like, I can't get out. I can't get out. He didn't sound like that, I don't think. But there was nothing really holding him there. Finn Balor's out of Judgment Day. I saw Damian Priest tweet like, not so fun, is it? I don't know, man. I mean, I guess if they're doing the Demon at Mania or something, it would be all right. But other than that, I really thought that Dom as a babyface last year was the way to go. I really thought that Dom was getting over in a way that made it seem like he wanted to do it on his own, and Finn Balor was actually the bad influence. But we have a nearly OG member gone. There are as many members out of Judgment Day now as in Judgment Day. You had Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Carlito, and Finn Balor. And now it's one less. Dominic is the eldest member of Judgment Day. He's been there since 2022. It was so funny. Finn Balor was like, man, I for 2 years I've done this. I was like, man, it's been longer than that. It's been like 3.5, bro. And yes, I do want Dom as a babyface. I do. But now it ain't working. Now they've went the opposite direction. I just don't know what the ceiling is for Finn as a babyface. I mean, if he goes into the demon thing, that could be a very big moment for Mania. I think it'd be very good. I just want to know like what the long-term benefit is. And yes, Finn technically was the last one in the Edge era because they added him with Edge and then they attacked Edge. So he was technically the last remaining member of the original-ish Judgment Day. Man. Nobody else? Oh, okay, JD's been there since 2023 as well. But I do feel like a vicious Dom could have been a really good heel to Dominic's babyface. Did I say a vicious Finn or a vicious Dom? Either way, Ryan Caccini says, can't believe WWE didn't think Finlay would be a perfect fit in the Judgment Day stuff. I've got a report coming on FightfulSelect.com. Please subscribe. News every day, Q&As all week. I had somebody asking me if I'd ever do a call-in show. I would do a call-in show. That would be a select thing, though. It would certainly be a select thing. I can't go putting that invite link out there just for anybody. But on select, I'll try to do some call-in shows and stuff. But Ryan says, I can't believe WWE didn't think Finlay would be a perfect fit in the Judgment Day. I think he would have been a really good fit in the Birthright stable, a good leader as well. I think that honestly, NXT was probably the best spot for him. But they ended up passing. Listen, I'm sure AEW paid him more money, though. Dave Koss says, I think they kicked his ass enough. He was dead. No, but if you go back, Dave, and you look at Finn underneath the chair, he's like wiggling to get out. You know what I mean? Do you think they replace him, or do you think they just leave him out and they don't replace him? Javon Evans flew all the way to the show and then is told, you got the week off, and he's happy about it. Where were they tonight? Where was Raw tonight? Somebody tell me. Because I would not have been happy to have flown all the way to WWE Monday Night Raw and then been told, yeah, actually, we don't need you. We got the night off. Seattle? That's all the way. Seattle? Oh, no, it was Seattle. To fly all the way across the country. Because he was in one of two places. He was in North Carolina, which is home, or if he still lives in Orlando. And being told, you got the night off. I'd say, then why'd you fly me here? You couldn't have told me I had the night off 3 days ago? Start booking the show better. Seattle. So Kofi dismisses Grayson Waller, who's looking like modern day Vanilla Ice more and more. And Kofi apologizes to Javon. I may have missed the ass end of this, but it felt like Kofi said, you know what? I came at you wrong. Offset injured Xavier. I realize that I see a lot of myself in you. And I think you can be a WWE champion. I don't know if there was a shot after that or anything, but I mean, this was good. And you could tell that Javon was taking it in. And, everybody assumes Kofi's being fake. Probably. But I thought this was a pretty effective segment. Galron Rolt says, Javon racking up those frequent flyer miles one way or another. Ain't that the truth, buddy? Ain't that the truth? Oh, man. There's good and bad to this next one. Oba Femi versus Rusev. If you are going to watch a 3-4 minute match, this is a very fun 3 to 4 minute match to watch. They hit each other really, really hard a number of times. They brawled to the outside. There was a hilarious spin kick from Rusev, who is either known as the Lion of Bulgaria or the Bulgarian Lion. They need to get on the same page with the nickname. But this match went 4 minutes. I'm going to look for the actual time. I'm going to go to Cage Match and check. So, 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 8 seconds. So, Rusev, here is his recent history. 3-minute loss to Oba Femi. Listen, people are going to lose to Oba Femi in 3 minutes. That's fine. No problem with people losing to Rusev or losing to Oba. He's been on main event a bunch, but he was out of the Rumble in 90 seconds. He wasn't on Raw or SmackDown in a match in February, January, or December. Whew. Damn. But Oba looked great. He did that huge heave and then the big power bomb. This is meaty as hell, bro. You got to get Oba Femi some wins over people like this. But what I would have done was okay, you want Rusev to be this guy? He beat Joaquin Wilde in early February on main event and January too, if I remember right. Why can't he do that on Raw? Do a quick match. Have him beat somebody on Raw. Rusev is, again, no shame in losing to Oba Femi, but that's the most he's done on Raw or SmackDown since November. He beat Priest back then. That was cool. But man, they have not had him involved in much of anything. Oba Femi's got to be the guy for Brock, right? Surely they don't go that rumored LA Knight route, which again, I have not heard, just to be clear. I have not heard that it's going to be LA Knight. But I think it's got to be Oba Femi. It's got to be Oba Femi. Well, let me tell you something, guys. NordVPN.com/Fightful is about to get even better. I've told you guys about how you can go to NordVPN.com, see all their great options and plans, change your virtual location, and watch all of WWE's content on one Netflix account. So if you've got it to watch Raw, you can get all the other content for $291 a month on average with their great package that they have. It's getting better. Today, AEW announced My AEW, where if you change your virtual location and you get My AEW, you're going to get all the AEW pay-per-views, all the ROH pay-per-views, their weekly TV for $120 per year. NordVPN is continuing to save you money. NordVPN.com/Fightful, a 30-day money-back guarantee. I just love it. I just love it, man. They keep finding ways. Hey, you a UFC fan overseas? Go get Paramount Plus here in the States. You don't have to buy the pay-per-views anymore. Look at this. Sabrina, the lovely Sabrina, saying, thank you, Sean, for the Nord hookup. NordVPN.com/Fightful. How could you look at me how could you get ready to learn NordVPN.com/Fightful, buddy? It's saving you money everywhere. What else do I need to say? I can talk about all the other options, or you can go there, NordVPN.com/Fightful. Click get the deal. Somebody says, except they're starting to catch on, except they're not. You just got to change your virtual location to a different place, and then you'll be good to go. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Yes, Sabrina, you're lovely. Dave Koss says, Oba's back body heave always looks so damn good. That was a move I would do with like my action figures. And I was like, man, somebody should do that. It's hard to protect yourself on it, though. It's very hard to protect yourself on it. Guys, if you're here, a few quick plugs before our last segment. FightfulSelect.com, the most direct way to get all of our news, Q&As, all that good stuff. I am on Facebook at Sean Ross Sapp. I'm over there debunking a lot of fake news, posting some stuff. I am on TikTok at Sean Ross Sapp doesn't TikTok. A little too late for me to change that, but there you go. We have Fightful Espanol as well. We have a bunch of interviews over at youtube.com/Fightful, including some on our Shorts tab. Do not sleep on our Shorts tab. I had one up with Jacob Fatu today. I got one with Oba Femi coming up soon. Had Drew McIntyre. Had the who should be the lowest rated character in 2K. But we had a bunch of interviews drop recently. Steph DeLander after quitting TNA. Persephone ahead of beating Mercedes. By the way, Kim, he will find your super chat. Luis, please find this super chat. We had Gabby Forza speaking to Joel Pearl. Had Rocky Romero. Had a very unique interview with Trish Stratus, Blake Monroe, and Xavier Woods. We've got Ben Bishop. We got the Babes of Wrath, Kyle Fletcher, and we got a lot more. Your boy's going to be at Squared Circle Expo. I still got interviews from WrestleCade in the can. I still got like BJ Ray and Deonna Purrazzo and John Schuyler and a lot of these. I think it was before TNA even had a TV deal. But we also have an interview with Kira on Fightful Scraps and Espanol. Oh, our Fightful Scraps channel. Please go check out our clips, by the way. Clips channel, Fightful Scraps. Kim Gray says, love you, Sean. Bo lost a friend in a car wreck Saturday. So much going on. Prayers all around. I'm so sorry to hear that. Please tell Bo that I send my condolences, Kim. Love that fella. Love you as well. And definitely sending love, honestly, to your whole community. Because, I mean, unfortunately, we lost a lot of people when I was in school to car accidents. And know the feeling all too well. And it is a heartbreaking one. Dave Koss says, I love how Finn's program with Punk realistically within kayfabe changed his outlook on wrestling. That breakup could have happened 100 times over the years, but this felt earned because of the road to it. Dave, you know what? That's a pretty good point. And I would love it if like we have a Michael Cole sit down interview and he kind of brings that up. You know, I think he should say that is what changed his outlook on things. Like that's what made him go, okay, I have to send him down the right path. Otherwise I couldn't live with myself type of thing. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I showed him all these shortcuts, but I didn't show him the way to actually do it. And I have to show him that. So I like that, Dave. Dave also says, only reason I can see Knight Lesnar is because he has no ops other than the Vision. And unless they do Rollins Knight versus the Vision, what else can he possibly do? It'd be a crime if he missed Mania. Yes, it would be a crime if LA Knight missed Mania. Absolutely. But also, I have never had an incredible amount of confidence in WWE's booking of LA Knight. Outside of, I've always believed that they would have to keep him near or in the fold just because he's so over. That's really about the only thing I've believed there. But I just don't have that much confidence in his booking. We had Penta who was scheduled against the OG El Grande Americano. OG Grande doesn't want Danhausen's help. Danhausen says, oh, you don't want my help? In that case, then you are cursed. So, if you would have watched anybody or listened to anybody 9 days ago, you would have thought that Danhausen's career was over. 6 days later, they were finishing his sentences. You are cursed. Damn, bro. He's working. He is going to be just fine. And then the Americanos stalk OG Grande, and Danhausen is 2-0 in curses for WrestleMania or for in WWE. I mean, he'll probably do a big Mania curse too. But Penta cut a really good promo, like half in English, but like the crowd was into it. It's one of the few things they were into that night. And the new Grande comes out. So, you know, obviously that the curse lives. But then the crowd just wasn't that into the match, which was good, by the way. Penta wins. Meet Norma says, I'll get sour in a bit, but wanted to drop a sack of monies for Megan and Nami. Thank you so much. Says, more evidence you're actually a good guy. Those that disagree are cursed. Danhausen seems to be fitting in perfectly. Cheers, bruv. And Shotgun Sean says, is Danhausen really the WWE shop #1 seller? Yes, he is. Yeah, he was. That's what I was told. Because, like, listen, when you got somebody brand new, none of their merch has been sold. So you get a big rush. So that sort of helps push it a little bit more. Meet Normus, thank you so much. And I listen, the fact that you didn't send this during Oba and Rusev, it's growth, my friend. It's growth. JT says, love the Kyrie Asuka stuff. Hope it gets to Mania in a 1-versus-1. Also, what are Julia's plans for Mania? Her booking sucks ass. Well, I haven't heard of any plans for her for Mania because her booking sucks ass. And I wish I could have, but I haven't. With Asuka and Kyrie, I mean, I could see Io getting factored in there as well because Kyrie, like, unintentionally worked with her in that triple threat match, was it? A few weeks ago. So I could see that happening as well. But I mean, I don't remember being like 6-7 weeks out and like having so many question marks about the Mania card. But man, dude, Julia, she's probably going to be involved in like a multi-person, mini-person thing. You know what I mean? I would love it if they had her doing something good. But yes, Penta versus OG or Penta versus El Grande, good match. Wish the crowd was into it though. Penta, that promo, they should have let him talk in AEW more. That's one. Listen, you want to talk about one thing this regime has done? Vince would have never let Penta talk. Vince would have hated it. I'm glad they're letting him talk because the passion comes through. Guys, thank you all so much. You all sent a lot of very nice donations. I will be here Wednesday. Right now, I do not have a guest for the hump. Denise was supposed to be on, but she's going to be attending AEW Dynamite, so she won't be there. I will be doing the AEW Dynamite post show. This weekend's AEW pay-per-view post show will be a little bit different. The Sour Graps crew will be on the main feed. I'll be hopping on to do some breaking news. I'm going to try to record a review as the show progresses, and it will be on Fightful Select. I have to go on a work trip on Monday. I need to make it a little bit of an earlier night than what doing an AEW review live would facilitate. Somebody says, bring in Jimmy for Wednesday, maybe. Jimmy will only be on like very special episodes, but he doesn't keep up on the day-to-day nearly as much right now. So, guys, thank you all so much. Thank you for listening to my rant at the beginning of this show. And I appreciate you guys. Until next time, we're out.